Totally unexpected.
Yes, exactly. Old people, they're funny.
Yeah, well, right.
Dennis,
Right.
New Year, baby. 2024.
New Year, man. God, it's been forever again.
It's a leap year, baby. We're leaping.
Is it?
We're leaping.
Is it a leap year? So February has an extra day?
Yeah, man. It's divisible by 4.
And otherwise, what's that?
It's divisible by 4 is the rule. Also, is there a U.S. election? Hello.
Yeah.
Is there?
Well,
I don't know.
we'll get into the latest unbelievable stuff.
But how was, first of all, how was your Christmas?
First of all, Christmases, we had 2.
Yes.
We had a Christmas Day Christmas without my lovely daughter and her beau and their child. And then, when they returned from out of town on the 30th, we had what we call our full Christmas, which meant a full menu and a full exchange of presents.
Nice.
Which this year, our agreement was we would apparently the agreement was we would buy a particular person a book. We would get the name out of a hat, book of our choosing, which I had wished had been you could get out of the library a book, just because
Yeah.
I don't like to kill all these fucking trees, but whatever. But they were great. They were both great. We had a lot of great food. I cooked a turkey dish that I wanted to tell you about because I thought it was unique, and I will never buy another kind of turkey. So far, I must say.
How many kinds of turkeys are there?
Well, you'll see.
Okay.
Turkey dishes.
I apologize.
A type of turkey, a type of way to serve turkey. This is what apparently are 2 very large turkey breasts, or one extremely large turkey breast that is somehow kind of rolled into a ball when it's raw, and then is deep frozen. So you buy a ball that's larger than a softball, and as big as maybe the biggest grapefruit you ever held in your hand, this big, and in a bag with seasoning in it, and you put it in the oven at 425 for apparently 2 hours or whatever, and open the bag, slit the bag a bit, but stick a thermometer and make sure it's 650 before you serve it. But it worked great.
650, I don't know about that.
Then when you open the bag, these juices flow all through the plate you're on, which they have a gravy mix sack that you mix in. Right, I'm sorry that brought up images of your junk, but I didn't know what else to. I could have
all
called
the
it
breast
back.
juices in the sack. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, and using the warm wrap.
I'm very
later
excited.
Was a good idea too. But here's the thing. When you opened it up and it was beautiful, smelled great, looked good, it kind of unfolded a little bit. And then when you cut it, it's sliced exactly like you'd expect a breast to slice, with kind of ripple, grainy bit. It
Sure.
looked like a turkey I was carving myself. Reason being, unlike other turkey products, it wasn't a turkey product.
boneless.
Turkey parts melded together
Right.
and then put into a loaf, or just a leg, which I would just eat a leg, if that was all to eat. But generally, when you
It was all white meat, but
it was breast.
but a bizarre, like,
Presentation.
one has to question when you are eating meat and you can't visualize the part of the animal that it came from, like how factory.
You mean
meat is
like
this?
like Spam. We know. Horns, hooves.
No.
etc.
I mean, that's one extreme, but when you get a piece of meat and it's not shaped like a part of the animal that you're used to.
You mean like a leg or a wing?
Well,
how would you do that for a cow? That'd be a big plate if it were the ribs.
I when I eat my cow wings, I like them a certain way. No, but I don't know. It's an interesting invention of the meat industry that you have discovered.
Yes. Well, I told you the story of the when I was a backup cook at the fish seafood restaurant, how we would get in these giant links of cod, which were 3 feet by 4 inches thick by 8 inches wide. I mean, this is a hunk of fish.
Yeah.
3 feet, right?
Yeah.
You could trim it and cut it any width, thickness, or shape you wanted with a sharp knife. And we cut it so it looked like, a halibut. Then we deep fried it so you really couldn't tell. It's a sea trout, which we cut a different angle, a different thickness. It didn't matter what, but the fact is, deep fried cod is amongst the best deep fried fish you can get. Even when you get halibut, which is so extraordinarily expensive, $38 a pound, which, and I was in the halibut capital of the world, I mentioned that to you. But anyway, the halibut, when it's deep fried, has about the same consistency, flavor, moisture of a cod, although I can certainly tell the difference.
Of course you can.
Most people can't, particularly when they're smothering it with our homemade coleslaw and our sides of my dish that I created, which was oddly enough yellow squash and chicken livers. Oh my God!
Oh, yeah, that sounds amazing. Yellow squash and chicken livers.
To go with it was a side dish. It was like I made succotash too, man.
I have some fish switcheroo stories as well over our 4 weeks that we haven't recorded. 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Oh, because you went on vacation. You went to the islands.
I went,
right? Or did you?
I did. For the Christmas, I went to Lanzarote, which is one of the easternmost Canary Islands, and apparently the way the weather works is that the moisture comes off of the ocean going east and hits the westernmost islands, and there are big mountains there, and so it all rains there. And so the eastern islands are very dry deserts, there's no rain there ever.
Which you demanded after last year's rather cool vacation, am I correct?
Well, we wanted to explore a different experience, and when we got there, the night that we got there, it rained like half of the rain that they get every year on that night. It just poured down rain, and there was rain entering into our bedroom that morning. But the island in general is very also we were staying in an Airbnb in the part in the center of the island that is by the part that is just entirely volcanic. You look out to the landscape and you see just black rock as far as you can see, just nothing but black boulders and shit. It feels like you're in another planet.
Yeah.
And
is
you
that
can't.
enjoyable all the time?
Is that enjoyable? No.
That freaked you out at some point. Since
No, it's super. It's super
your
fucking
idea
creepy.
of a relaxing
No.
place may not be another
This was
planet.
not. This was not my idea of relaxing. In fact, I would definitely not live there. But it was just like what the fuck is this landscape? Like, what is this?
Not in all directions, but in one direction.
Well, in 3 directions from where we where we were, but and then we went. One of our excursions was to go up to the top of this volcano. Yet
another volcanic trip. This isn't your first.
No. I mean, the Canary Islands are volcanic, all of them.
And so last year you did a trip up that island's volcano.
Yeah. But they're all volcanic. But this one was
so every island has its own volcano, therefore its own walk to get closer to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's they all like if you look at the ocean floor, they're all like just like Hawaii, like they're all volcanoes. But
it's all built up from volcanoes.
We went up to the top of this particular island and got a look around, and then we took this like bus trip that was like super fucking curvy and just like it was like traveling around the moon or Mars or something. It was just like driving around and there was just nothing but rock and more rock. And this is a place where the last time it was super active was like 300 years ago. So in 300 years, there hasn't been enough time for plants and animals and stuff to like come back. So there was no grass, no animals, no nothing. It was so strange.
And how long did it take?
How long did what take?
The trip up through the landscape.
No. Like the trip through the thing was like 30 minutes or whatever. But I'm talking about the entire island. The entire island has no.
The entire island.
The entire island has there are some birds, some tiny little birds, but you will not see. I never saw a single mammal that wasn't like there because the humans wanted them to be there.
And tell me about the vegetation again. No plants.
Almost none. There were.
What? So what was the landscape? Grass?
No.
Prairie?
No.
Desert?
No. Black rock.
Holy shit!
Like you think landscape and you think grass, obviously, but there's no grass.
So
no green.
So how long were you on this island? A week, and in that week, you must have really said, you know what? I don't want to drive around in that shit anymore. I'm glad there's a pool here, right? Did you hang out more because it was so crazy looking out there, or did you never get enough of it? Was it so awesome that you just went out in it every day? Because it sounds to me like it would weird me the fuck out.
Yes. We had a little pool in our house that but however, it never got warmer than like 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
I thought you picked this place because it was demonstrably warmer than the last place, which was also about 68.
It is it's warmer than where we live, but it's not hot. So
and there's no hot to be found then.
No. This,
or you would have went there.
No. So this place, I actually did on Christmas Eve I decided I was gonna go and jump in the pool, and so I did, but it was not warm.
It was too cold to enjoy
Yeah. It was just a hey.
and too small to get all heated up.
I'm tired of. I'm going to bed, but before I go to bed, I'm going to jump in the pool. So I did, but there was no. It was not like a tropical. Let's all relax here sort of thing. But what we did was we went around and we saw all the different. We literally saw all of the island in that week. Like, there's no reason for us to ever go back. Like, we've seen everything, all the different landscapes and structures and crap. One of them was this volcanic tunnel. Like, when this tunnel was created 25,000 years ago, which is super young in geologic terms, right? So, like 25,000 years ago is like nothing.
Well, I gotta interrupt just a second because something very funny is happening technically.
Yes.
And what is happening is that you're freezing up at a particular moment, and I can hear you perfectly fine. But you know how sometimes a photograph, when somebody's not aware of it, with their eyes closed or their mouth drooping, or but something odd. I just had one of you that you were as dull looking as I've ever seen you.
More than usual.
With shaded eyes and a drooping mouth. No, shaded eyes. No, like. So it made me laugh. I didn't want you to think I was laughing about the story you were telling me, which was fascinating in a historic, paleological sense.
Yeah. Well, let me just get through my little story. So
well, okay.
There's this.
Okay.
There was this tunnel that was created by lava that was flowing, and the top of the lava was on top and touching the air and froze, turned into rock. And so anyway, there's this really long tunnel that was lava.
Walk through it or drive through?
We don't walk through, and it was cool. So where I live, we have these caves where we have like, oh wow,
that's a bummer.
What a bummer.
See, because I don't do this often enough.
No, it's been weeks.
Out of practice.
Yes,
I haven't done that in a year. Anyway, God damn, you were right at a really good part of the story. The tunnel.
So where I live, we have these caves with stalactites and stalagmites and shit that have been forming for thousands and thousands of years. And here they had a cave that was formed very recently, like 25,000 years ago. But there were people drawing shit in the caves where I live when this was being created by lava. And what they had were little drips on the ceiling that were just like drops of lava that had solidified, which is pretty cool.
Right in the act of dropping.
Right, right in the act of being a drop, it froze, which was cool. Anyway.
And did they break off?
I did not break anything off. No.
But are they so high above you that you can't reach them?
No, I could fondle them. They were like little rock nipples.
And were they so sturdy that it would have been hard to break them?
It would have been hard to break a rock nipple.
Oh, because I have a different. How big were they? Compared to the palm of your hand.
No, I think like a cow's teat.
Oh, that's common. all of our listeners will be familiar with that common way to measure the size.
It was nuts.
Oh, yep. I got you. It was just.
It was
one
like a lava.
size.
I don't know. There were.
Like the top of a soap bottle.
Sure. Yes. Anyway.
I could see where that would be. You'd have to bear into it to break it. You'd have to want to break it. Did you see any evidence that they had been broken?
I did not, but I was also like in a group where we were being quickly shuffled from one part to another. Yeah.
Was it dark?
There were parts that were dark, but obviously they have it nicely lit. There was this one bit where our guide said, like, okay, now the next part, we need to be very quiet, everyone. We're gonna go to this part where we're gonna look over this place where there's just like this huge abyss below us, and everyone be really quiet. And I'm gonna throw a stone, and we're gonna listen to how the stone lands in the abyss. And so we all got there, and for sure it kind of looked like oh wow, that goes really deep down. And then she threw the thing, and it was just a little puddle of water that it splashed, and because it was reflecting what the ceiling of the cave was above us.
So it was a funny thing.
And it was supposed to be a funny thing, and she explained, look, don't tell anyone that's ever going to come hear this, because this is like a secret thing, and also this was like invented by the artist that created this cave tour and blah blah blah. Anyway, it was kind of funny and kind of super dumb at the same time. Anyway. Just like me.
To see you're telling this story as a pictograph, or what do you call a series of pictures? A pictograph? Is that what it is?
Pictogram?
Where you'd have them in your hand, and that's what I'm getting from you, is that this story,
yes,
with your hands, your laugh, frozen. What I should do is show you what it looks like. So here's you right now on my screen. Here's you right now on my screen.
Okay, this is an
Frozen.
audio medium, so
got you now.
And then we came back and we had we celebrated New Year's Day, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day locally for the first time in I think forever. We went out to the local scene. It was me and my wife and her sister and her sister's boyfriend, and we went out, and boy, all the people were young.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like 20 years old, and we were like 40 something, and it was just like, okay, well, but anyway, we went out and danced a little bit, and anyway. It was
well, that sounds like fun.
And we came home at...
how were the drinks?
We came home at 5 a.m. The drinks...
Oh, Lord.
Gin tonic. I don't know. Boring.
Well, we stayed home New Year's Eve. Me, Nikki, and Dan, Pop Dan, who's doing pretty well. And I was in bed at 11 and was woken up by fireworks noises, which made me smile and go right back to sleep.
Oh, how cute.
And she crept into bed after having I don't know that she even saw it either, but that's pretty typical for us for New Year's. I actually turned down the chance to play at a New Year's Eve party with a band who I now play with regularly. I don't know if I've told you about this band, Brothers Proper, 3-man band.
Nope, not yet.
Self-taught guitar player Tommy, who's quite good on the guitar. A drummer with electric drum kit. Tone Anthony Tone, they call him. And then one of several bass players, but my favorite is Dennis, this black dude who just absolutely gets in the groove
What a stupid
with
name.
the tune, with me and the harp and others, and we just play, man. Anyway, I'm playing with them 3 times a month now, and I'm stepping in with my harp one out of every 3 songs maybe.
Nice.
So there's not so much harp, because it can be overbearing. And plus they play a lot of tunes that are jazzier and frankly sound really good without a harp. And I do some backup vocals when I'm not playing. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun. So I've been doing that, but I could have done that on New Year's Eve. That would have been something. But anyway, it's at a distillery where we play a lot. They had rye. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Rye, did I drink so much.
the trick to staying up late, I've learned, is
What's that?
The trick to staying up late for like New Year's Eve and stuff is like napping.
Yeah, well,
Like a 2-hour
I
nap.
do that too.
2-hour nap.
I do that too. I do that to stay up until 9 now. So, unless I were to take a 4-hour nap, I enjoy my naps. I took one today laid down and thought I just need a little bit. 45 minutes later, I got up and felt great. Drank half a cup of coffee, sat down at the computer, and got to work.
I don't know. I had the craziest sleep situation last night where we got in late because then day before we record, my wife and I go out for a dance class until late.
Oh yeah, salsa.
Salsa and other things. And we got in late, and I went to bed, and I swear I was awake for 4 or 5 hours, like totally awake and conscious of every single moment, and I was like, why am I not sleeping? Sleep, damn it.
Why couldn't you read or watch a tube?
Because I wanted to sleep. Like, I
have a 30-minute rule.
Yeah.
If I lay awake for 30 minutes, I get up and do something.
Yeah, I should have done that, but then I was like, yeah, but 30 minutes and like, So
you lay there and suffered.
I lay there and
That's
suffered.
Strange.
Suffered. It's for hours and hours and hours. And then I woke up this morning and I was like,
You didn't cut yourself at all, correct?
I did not cut myself, no.
Okay.
And I woke up this morning and
You sound a little stressed.
This,
I know what it was, man. It was that fucking scenery that was driving you mad.
Scenery. Yeah.
That's why you didn't want to get up. You didn't want to look at all the black and
volcanoes,
rocks and
that's
wonder
weeks
where
ago.
all the plant and wildlife was.
No, but I woke up this morning and my sleep. I have a watch thing that is like monitoring my sleep, and my watch was like, "Oh, that was the best sleep you've had in like years," because you were just. And I felt like I was just like rolling around in bed and uncomfortable but I don't know.
And you must have been dreaming you were awake.
Or yes, that's possible. Or trying to pretend to be asleep tricked the the watch into thinking that I was. I don't know.
Well, I think it's some funny you say that because when you think about what is it exactly are they measuring? Well, we know they're measuring movement,
Yeah.
right? And then they're measuring pulse,
Measuring movement and pulse and blood.
and temperature.
Yeah.
All of which you can control if you are, to some degree, if you are relaxed.
Yeah.
And
But I didn't feel relaxed. Like I was nervous.
You were focused.
Yes.
Maybe I think that you were dreaming you were awake. I think that's the best explanation. Because I don't think you can fool the monitor like that.
Yes.
You had, my reaction to your description was that you were anxious. And your description is just that it didn't feel like calm and relaxing. You actually were anxious. You had that anxiety, but maybe just fleeting, but you latched onto it in your dream life and you dreamt that it was keeping you awake. And it wasn't true. Your wife would say, "What are you talking about? You slept like a log. You never moved."
Yes.
That's the power of your brain, man. Your sleeping brain.
Okay. The fact that our primary listener is my father, like he totally
Primary. What do you mean primary? That means that sounds like it's more than one. That's if it's only one, you don't say primary.
No.
You say only.
No. I'm not saying only.
Primary. Oh, and not to besmirch the legions of you.
But he has this belief that he is aware of how much he is sleeping, just like I claim to. And he thinks that he doesn't sleep at all because apparently he suffers from whatever I was doing last night, of feeling like I was awake all the time. But yeah.
Maybe it's in your DNA. It's I'm not really awake, but I'm dreaming I'm awake gene.
Indeed. In gene.
Gene. Oh, such a surprise.
So
I can't believe my eyes. I'm awake. Gene.
We have topics.
You thought I was going to interrupt you again, didn't you? You were ready
topics.
for it. Oh, we do. Well, I have a couple.
Fine, you go first.
As you know, I've become
sports?
a fan of the mayor of Kingstown. And Jeremy Renner, who, of course, had a monumental accident a year ago.
Yes.
At the same time it was announced that they're now starting to work on season 3, I was allowed access to all of season 2, which, because I'm getting allowance for the entire season, I can binge. And I had a great time last night for 4 hours binging on what essentially are our episodes. But here's the thing I wanted to say. Do you have any idea about that man's songwriting and singing skills?
No.
I had never heard of it, thought of it, etc. So I Googled a couple of his tunes that he's written for other people, but also that he recorded for posterity. And I am blown away. He's like one of these guys who was like, he was a singer and a songwriter who went to acting.
Wow.
And the stuff it's good.
Wow.
And it's humble. Anyway, that was that. There's more in store for that. Hey, True Detective's coming up.
Yes.
January 14th. That's this week.
Yep.
Jodie Foster, 61 years old. Says, sometimes I don't want to act for like 10 years at a time. I read scripts. It's, you know what? I just don't care. I read this one. Oh, I like this one. I care about this.
Yeah, I'm so fucking intrigued.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
she's never done anything that wasn't exceptional. Wasn't exceptional.
Right.
In
and
my
like,
view. She's one of those actors.
I don't know that she was totally consensual for Taxi Driver or whatever, but
she had been acting for 5 years by then. She was she had more acting chops than several of the other adult characters by then. And her manager and her parents were just all very clear. She was well beyond her years, so it wouldn't be like a typical 12-year-old playing a whore. It'd be more like a 16-year-old playing a 12-year-old whore. Which, I don't know, but she brought such character to the role. I mean, just amazing. But this being set in Alaska is, as you know, one of my favorite places on the planet. Similar in some ways, in its starkness to the kind of starkness you describe as volcanic, but in this case glacial, or what was more mesmerizing to me. The glaciers were mesmerizing in that their enormity, particularly because you were 100% clear about their substance. You knew what you were looking at was fucking ice.
and
right?
the same.
And
yes,
and as big, it was the size of mountains. Airplanes look like little insects off in the distance, but that, in some ways, imagine an hour and a half of jet flight, jumbo jet flight, an hour and a half jumbo jet flight, in a flight pattern so low, you could not only see the mountains right below you in twilight, but you could see the trees in some of the gullies of the mountains. There was nothing but solid peaks for 1.5 hours. Jagged, rugged. It was mesmerizing. But where they are is much further north. All glaciers in Alaska are in the southern part of the state. There's no glaciers north because north it doesn't snow much. There's not a lot of moisture. It's just fucking cold. And it's flat and windy and cold and completely frozen. And this is where North Pole, there's a town called, let's say Barlow. God, I hope I got that right. But it's, what is it?
There's a town called North Pole.
No, it's just below the North Pole. But this movie takes place north of the North Pole, which would be south of the North Pole, because you can't.
North or North Pole, south.
You're going down the other side of the Earth, and so you can't really be north, unless they're saying north of the North Pole is not quite to the North Pole.
Whatever.
Almost as far north as the North. I don't know. I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Lots of sense we're making.
I'm probably wrong about this. I'm probably wrong. They didn't say that.
You for sure you are.
No, you don't. You don't know. The polite thing to say was "oh posh." You're usually right about
oh posh, as I always say. Yes. So we have that to watch. Did I email you? Are you familiar with the TV show called Fargo?
Oh, the movie and yes, the TV show. I'm familiar in that I know that it's there, and that if I've seen more than 2 minutes of it, I'd be surprised.
Yes.
And is it good?
I have been turned on. Yes. If you liked the movie, which I certainly did,
As did I.
you will like the TV series. And the TV series is this very, very creative way of taking, this is what you liked about this movie, let's turn it into a TV series. And I think I've watched all 3 of the previous series of Fargo.
3 seasons.
There are 3 seasons of Fargo. Now there's a 4th season. And each season is different. They're not, you don't have to follow.
They're not sequential.
Yeah, you don't have to watch one and then to see the other.
They're just about another story that takes place in Fargo.
They're just another Fargo-ish story. So you're free to watch whichever.
Are they not all set in Fargo?
No, they're all set Minnesota-ish, but not in Fargo. No, but I've been watching the latest. I'm like 3 episodes into the 4th season of the Fargo TV show, which is on HBO, and it is cinematically just like precious, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Like I can't. It's very, very, very well done.
Now all of the
and it's all with the
shows are obviously they're in all seasons of the year, because when the movie Fargo was winter, but in this series, of course, it's not all winter.
Well, it's fucking Minnesota. I think maybe everyone is winter. I can't recall what the other ones were, what seasons the other ones were. But like it's been several years. Like the first season of the TV show of Fargo was like 6 years ago or something. I don't know.
Are you struggling to talk in complete sentences?
No.
You no. You're doing well with it. You're doing well with
it. Sentence.
I think there's something about your description of Fargo being non-sequential, because when you talk in such complete sentences, somebody would not have to know what you just said to know what you're talking about now, because you're explaining for the 3rd time that it's Fargo, the
but
HBO based.
Every season is not.
I know it's not sequential. I know.
But it's not. It's
like
not winter.
Now.
It's not winter every time. Maybe.
No.
Or I don't know. Maybe it is.
I don't know why it would be if it looked at. Given the title, I would expect there to be a few episodes that were during the summer. You don't remember those?
No, I don't.
You're frozen.
But anyway, that's.
This is you.
That's cool. Let's see.
Come on, you got to talk.
No.
You can't be frozen face, and then go silent.
Okay.
Here you are. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
So.
You're back.
Politics.
What?
Politics.
Oh, politics. Topics tonight. That's right. Well, so.
Because.
I thought that I listened live to the appeals court hearing when the lawyer for Trump spoke to 3 women jurors who form the appeals court that are hearing the suit by Trump that claims that this insurrection thing needs to be thrown out because the president is immune. He has total immunity. And it's fascinating for several reasons. The first which is jarring, because for whatever reason, Trump's attorney has one of these gravel voices. You want him to clear his throat,
Yeah.
or take water, or come back to court when his flu is gone, or whatever, because he sounds so it's grating to hear him. And then the things that he says, and the way the three women appeals court judges said to him, they're all so cool and calm. She says, the one judge, Judge Pan, she says, so let me understand this. If the President of the United States orders his SEAL team to kill one of his political rivals, and then resigns the presidency before he is impeached and found guilty by the Senate, then he cannot be arrested
Like,
under your
what the
argument.
What the fuck?
And he says, no, he could be arrested and tried in the criminal courts as long as he was impeached and convicted in the Senate. So it's a qualified yes.
Right.
And no matter how many times she said it, he said the same thing. She said at one point, she said, so I'm trying to get, for the record here, a simple yes or no answer to my question. And then he does it again.
Right.
She tried like 3 times. And then she posited what she understood. In this case, we understand that. And so then the opposing attorney, the attorney for Merrick Garland in the Department of Justice, said, I want to imagine a world, I can't imagine a world where what you're describing is possible. That someone could blah, 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 but not, resigns. What if they're found innocent by the supporting party in the Senate and in the House, and no crime? This terrible crime after crime, a murder, a bombing, and with the conclusion that based on this apparent definition, it's not going to go his way. But as a result of it, it's going to take weeks. Ugh. And the trial date of March 4th is now more like April, maybe May. And at some point, if it gets delayed, presumably under your theory, the newly elected President Trump will be able to order his Attorney General to drop the case. That's his goal. And the other factor is this, proven. Every time Trump appears at one of his court hearings, his ability to fundraise skyrockets. The sympathy that people feel and the empathy they feel for him, who his pain is their pain. One woman said on interview on CSNBC, it's like Jesus. Jesus died for my sins. This man is not living the life that he could. He's living a life for me. Ari Melber from MSNBC, when that clip was done, he went to camera, and you got to see if you can find this clip. He went face plant. He just put his hands up in the air like this and said, "You'll get no comment from me."
Jesus
on that
Christ.
Exactly. So Trump, he doesn't go to Iowa, where the caucus, it's not a primary, it's a caucus, where it's interesting. I don't know if you know how they work, but groups of people get together with certain ideas of who they want to support. They try to convince
physically
people
get together
to come their way, yes. And as more and more people join, the night goes on. People get tired. People want to go home. They say, I'm stuck. All
so
right.
Fucking stupid. Why are we doing things with physical
Listen.
Why
listen
are
to this.
you in this
And
group of people here when
the
you're-
most powerful voice, the most powerful voice,
mine,
white evangelicals.
like me?
White evangelicals, the most prominent voice in Iowa.
Praise Jesus.
And they overwhelmingly support Trump because of what he's done to end abortion.
Jesus.
End of story.
Fuck.
End of story.
Abortion. God damn it.
End of story. The man has saved millions of lives. And
Whoa. What? Hold on. What has Trump done to fix abortion?
He claims, and there's some great truth to it, through his appointments to the
Yeah, all right.
Supreme Court,
fine,
undid
yeah.
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
Every one of those jurors who were seated said that Roe v. Wade was explicit, accepted law, and it would not be changed under them. They each said that. Some could say you can be impeached for that lying bullshit. You were either lying, or if you've changed your views, we still don't like it.
Fuck.
Because that's the way to explain it. Well, I did feel that way then. Now that I'm here, blah, blah, blah. So, tonight, night of all nights, this is what's happening. Trump
Right. Yes.
is left court today, and held a press conference. He's going to speak tomorrow, so he's in D.C. in court, right? Staying at one of his hotels, I'm sure. While Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis are in the only members of the candidates that are debating tonight, the last debate in Iowa. Trump leads them by over 30 points. Where is he? He is being interviewed by Fox News at a town hall meeting.
Surprise.
And he's raising hundreds of millions of dollars, while second and third place, Haley, in the meantime, is what they call surging.
Yeah.
She's now within some polls within 2 points of Trump, not in Iowa, where she trails far behind, but is in close second with DeSantis, but in New Hampshire, where she staked a lot of her money and time, although she, interestingly enough, has spent twice as much money on ad time in Iowa as Trump. Trump has spent 3.4, she has spent 7.6 million.
Okay.
And in New Hampshire, she's within 2 points. That's important.
Again, why is this so stupid that we prioritize some states over others? It's so stupid.
It is.
Fuck.
The prioritization is only temporal.
Stupid. No, but it
starts with.
But it happens. It's true. It happens.
When you
Caucus,
consider
blah, blah,
it
blah.
as a bellwether, when you consider it as a bellwether rather than a prediction, this is
But
what
it
you
isn't.
know leaving Iowa.
But the bellwether blows on the news.
Only a limited bellwether. If you want to know how a candidate's going to do in those regions of the country where white evangelicals,
and that would be fine if no one, if that was not reported. If that was not reported, that'd be cool. But the fact that that's reported and that affects
why, you want to keep it a
others.
secret? Are you a communist?
Yes.
You don't believe in freedom of the press? Are you a commie?
I believe in everyone voting at the same fucking time.
Oh, that's a good idea, but that's not how we do it here. That's not what we have here in law.
Yes.
There is no chance. One of the things to recognize is this: when people vote for the President of the United States, their vote isn't what decides who the president is.
I fucking know that. God.
They're going to electoral college for an electorate who may or may not represent their views.
God,
have to be certified by the Congress.
I hate this.
I wonder if you could get in the way of that certification.
I wonder if we could hang Mike Pence. Yes. Fuck. Yes. Yeah. I know the system's broken, but God. But it shouldn't be this state before that state. And they fight over it. Like.
Listen to this. Make your hair go on fire. After Iowa, it's New Hampshire. After New Hampshire, sometime later is South Carolina. Right? Which after Joe Biden won South Carolina, it was all but over. And what happens after that is Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
Any state that votes after Super Tuesday is pretty much superfluous. Because and so
I hate this so much.
What percentage of people in the United States actually select the nominee? It is such a small portion of people. It is the most ridiculous. The founders of this country thought, I guess, that there was never going to be anything bigger than a village.
Yes.
Than a countryside and a village. And the people in the countryside could easily travel to the village. So just count them. Good Lord. And then every state with its own unique stuff. So I think Michigan's in Super Tuesday, and right now Biden's polling under Trump because the Arab American population, which is the second largest Arab population on the planet, has turned against him for the way that he's not handling the genocide in Gaza by Israel. Which I now am convinced that's what it is. It's genocide. It's their intent. It's Netanyahu's intent.
Well, it's the intent of the other side as well. Just to be clear.
Well, no, it's not the intent of the other side.
Of course
I'm talking about Palestinians.
No.
Not a political faction. I'm not talking about Hamas. There's a small proportion. And you look at any political party in this country, our country, you can say, well, you've got what percentage of Palestinians do you think support or are part of Hamas? What percentage?
But what are we calling the other side?
What do you mean? Israel?
No, the other side of Israel.
Palestine.
Okay, and so what? And why is Israel fighting anything?
Because the controlling party,
because someone on the
military,
other side. Who is the other side?
Huh?
Who is Israel
you
fighting?
Mean within?
Who is Israel fighting?
Palestine.
And Palestine did what to start this?
Palestine as a country
Palestine
did nothing.
Is not okay. Okay, but why is Israel fighting? Why is Israel fighting? Because they want to?
They're fighting because the ruling military party of the Palestinians, Hamas,
right,
murdered, slaughtered, abused 1,400 people on October 6th.
Genocide.
Yes. Hamas is, unlike Israel, unabashedly, unashamedly marketing their genocide for Israel, without a doubt.
Okay.
Yes.
To genocide.
That doesn't make it right for Israel to do it, if that's where you're headed.
No, but I'm just saying they're defending against genocide. Israel is defending against genocide.
You know how they're doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They know how to play that game. to just kill everybody.
Right. And how does anyone defend against an intruder? An attacker?
At this point, this is an offensive position by Israel. They've strongly taken the offense, and now it's punitive. And
much like the U.S. against Iraq, or
that it was punitive. No.
well, no.
Or against Iraq.
The second war against
Yes.
Iraq was we
Yes.
invented
Yes.
that and we just
Punitive.
made it up and we just like
It
fucking
was
killed a
punitive.
bunch of people.
Yes. It was punitive. It was punitive.
And
George,
also-
George H. Bush.
And all the wars, like someone attacks someone and then they totally destroy the other. Like if you poke a giant, they're going to totally destroy you.
Right.
And so
Well,
so
and-
that is surprising. In what way?
I'm not particularly surprising. It's a shocking number of deaths.
But
And
of
it's
course it
taking
is.
a shocking
But like
long-
in
it's
every
taking
single
a
war.
shocking long time. Well, of course, they're all shocking.
Right.
They're all
so
terrible.
like this is
It's
not
true.
this is
The thing
not
that-
weird. This is normal. As a response.
Well, I would never reward.
I'm not saying rewarding.
this
I'm
as-
not.
no, I would never.
rewarding,
No,
But
I can't normalize this.
no, but
There's no such thing as a normal war.
okay. In that case, this is a normal. This is a war, and not a normal war.
right.
Right? It's like so you can't say normal.
It's just a war. It's just a war.
But
There's
it's the most
just a
common type
really-
of war.
You say, look, this is a war, and in war, women and children die. Innocent women and children.
Yeah.
In all wars, that's the case. What makes this war any different than these other wars?
That's my
Well,
question.
the firepower that Israel has compared to the territory
Uh-huh.
that they're destroying means that unlike some wars, maybe Japan notwithstanding, the ability for the invading country to completely wipe them out. That's what's going on. I don't.
Compared to the previous wars we've had,
Yeah,
like.
yeah. More so than previous wars. we had.
No. The most recent.
There was never
wars-
any expectation we were going to
Iraq.
just completely destroy Germany.
No. Iraq.
you know.
Didn't we?
No. We dismantled it. We destroyed much of it, but we didn't drop a fucking A-bomb on it like we did Japan,
Fucking Dresden.
which did destroy the
Did you
entire
see-
country.
Dresden. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Like
that,
we
but
fucking
still,
shit some shit up.
there's a real simple
Like, no-
thing I'm
no-
getting
no
at.
one's-
There's a difference between great destruction and annihilation and elimination. One is there's nothing left. One looks like your backyard in your Canary Island honeymoon suite.
Which
Where you got
one are you
rooted out.
referring to? Because Dresden sure looked like that.
What?
Like
Dresden,
nothing.
the
was
city of
alive.
Dresden was completely annihilated.
Yeah.
The country wasn't. The country didn't look like Dresden.
Yeah, and how much? Okay.
It wasn't. They didn't eliminate the infrastructure of Germany off the planet like we did Japan,
Okay.
and like what Israel is doing, slowly but surely, in the Gaza Strip.
As a response to an attack.
Yes, of course. Look, I'm not saying you think that my ex. You think
I
that
don't
what I'm
understand.
saying about this is somehow not understanding the why of it. I understand the why of it. I'm not describing why.
Okay.
I'm describing what, and I'm saying it's sad that this
It's
war,
sad, but incredibly
like most
but
wars,
incredibly normal.
it's got a lot of dead babies and women.
Yes, of course.
And
but
I think that
incredibly
this country, it's incredible. You know what's not fucking normal? What's not normal is with this magnitude of opposition in a tinderbox that this country,
being
it's got the United States of America with $11 billion on the line, can't work out a way for what started happening last week to happen more and more. You know how they killed one of the primary Hamas leaders? You know how they finally killed one of the top guys? With a fucking drone. Yeah. Right? It wasn't a fucking bomb.
Yeah.
The bomb is about destruction and punishment.
Boy, that sounds super easy when you say it, but super hard to...
I don't mean to say that it's easy. It's terrible. It's all I'm saying is the simple fact it sure looks like genocide.
Well,
and when it looks like when they bombed Dresden, was genocide their motive? The answer is no, it was not.
Okay, but that's a word.
When we bombed Japan, was the expectation, was the purpose genocide? No, it was not. Was it for Hamas? Yes.
No, hold on.
Is it for Israel? No.
Hold on. Genocide means to erase a race.
To attempt to erase a race. Yes.
So, but
you do that by killing women and children.
But hold on. You're telling me that Israel is trying to erase what race?
The Arab race.
The Arab race. Do you know how many Arab countries there are?
Plenty. They're starting in Gaza.
And do you know how many Jewish countries there are?
Let's see. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay. So, which is actual genocide?
Well, so genocide not of Arabs as much as Palestinians.
Okay, so now we're talking genocide is not about a race, but about a
people.
About citizens of a country.
Was
Dresden trying to kill Germans? Yes.
A segment of a race.
Okay, was Dresden trying to kill Germans?
But to erase the race, to eliminate the race, that's what Germans wanted to do with the Jews, obviously. That was not our motive.
What Hamas wants to do with the Jews as well.
Yes, and it's not our motive. And all of the Arab
countries wants to do with the Jews.
It was not our motive in Japan, nor was it our motive in Germany. It was not a motive. And I'm questioning Netanyahu's motive.
Okay,
and I'm saying
it's a word.
It sure looks a lot like fucking genocide.
Okay, that's a word, but to call killing a bunch of people. Like,
yeah,
but Israel's intent is not genocide. Israel's intent is to defend itself from Hamas.
Huh?
Or not? Or is it to? Does Israel want to kill?
It's more than that.
Does Israel want to kill everyone in Saudi Arabia because they're Arabs?
If all they wanted to do was to prevent rather than punish.
Hold on.
They want to eliminate it. They're not saying they want to defend themselves, except to say we're going to defend ourselves by eliminating Hamas.
Okay.
And since they can barely identify who Hamas is and where they are, they're just killing. So kind of indiscriminate.
Okay. Hold on. But you saying genocide is they want to kill all the Arabs?
No, I misspoke.
That's what you're saying.
They want to kill. It seems like it's beginning to look like they want to kill all of the Palestinians. Kill as many as they don't care how many they kill.
Palestinians being defined as
those men, women, and children who live in Palestine.
Right, and they are. And they are different from Hamas. How?
They don't believe, as Hamas does, that Israel needs to be eliminated. They don't believe in genocide. They're simple Palestinian citizens.
So the bombs.
Hamas is a political faction within the Palestinian
which was
community,
elected by the Palestinian community,
which was elected and
by
then
majority
turned into a coup. This is
So-
the current Hamas is not the Hamas that was elected.
So how do you aim the
They're
bombs
much-
at the people that are against or are Hamas and the people that aren't? It's like,
How do they not bomb the Palestinians?
yes.
Very difficult.
No, no,
to bomb.
no. How
It's-
do you bomb? How do you
it's
bomb
imp-
only the Palestinians that are Hamas?
Well, you don't. If you don't want to kill anyone who's innocent,
No one wants to kill
or
anyone,
not Hamas,
but they
No,
want
if
to
you-
defend
no,
themselves
let me-
against
if you
the-
don't, if you don't want to kill anyone but them, you can't bomb. Bombing comes with the cost of innocent lives.
Well, then tell that to Hamas.
Hamas knows that. They're witnessing it.
Right. And they're killing-
They
and they're-
probably they've killed some Hamas. Maybe, I don't know. You want to take a guess? Is it 1 out of every 1,000 Palestinians killed?
No.
1 out of every.
No.
Does anybody
no.
know?
What?
Nobody knows.
Okay, so what is Hamas's objective in your mind?
The elimination of Israel off the face of the earth.
Okay, and what is Israel's objective?
To not let them do that.
Okay.
To eliminate them so they
Okay,
can't
so
do
which is more morally okay?
Israel's position, I'd say, would be defendable.
Fuck yes.
In my view.
So I don't.
Yes,
I don't
and what's your
understand.
point?
I don't understand.
The means justifies the ends?
No.
The ends justifies the means?
No.
That's what you're saying right now.
No,
You're saying,
no, I'm not.
You're saying the ends justify.
No.
Yes, you are.
I asked
Yes.
you. I asked you if Hamas had nuclear weapons, what would they do? They would destroy Israel. If Israel has nuclear weapons, and they do, what have they done? Oh, they're fine. They just want to live, and all the people in Israel, they are the Jews that were expelled from all of the Middle East, the whole Middle East. Like they weren't all, they were kicked out to come and live in Israel. So they're
Yes.
super like trapped. The Israel Jews are super trapped there, and now there's rockets landing on them.
Yeah.
So the fact that they reply to that with yes, more force than they have received, which is the obvious result. Like if you punch me a little bit, I'm going to punch you more because I want you to stop fucking punching me. Right?
Yeah. There are means to their justifiable end.
Are there?
Seems impossible to me because I don't believe that you can bomb to death a political movement. I don't believe that at all, and I don't believe that any number of bombs,
well, hold on.
unless you start bombing people in other parts of the world where they've gone. Hamas is not just in Gaza anymore. They're in all the surrounding
No,
countries.
and they never have been. They've always been in the surrounding countries. But, what happened with Nazism? Did we bomb them and we destroyed them with force? And that idea is more or less
Yep.
down?
Yep. And you know how we did it? We found and we killed all their leaders, including Hitler. We didn't kill him; he killed himself.
Yeah.
We systematically destroyed the hierarchy, which
That's my point.
was obvious, identifiable, obvious, proud, and lived large. They lived in villages. They owned castles. They lived in these places, as opposed to what in today's world is simply not the way it works anymore. Certainly not in the Middle East. Never did. Never will. The approach to this, I say that
should we
knowing that I have no idea.
Right, exactly. Like
how?
Like, should we do nothing, or should we do it the way we've always done it?
There's a little theory I have here. So now, so many Palestinians believed that Hamas did, current Hamas was the way to go. And the question is, now that all this is happening, they probably really want to make sure that Israel exists now that they've come in and killed their children and their sons and their grandparents. That is a path toward reduction of attractiveness of Hamas. I would imagine that Hamas is politically thrilled with how their legions have grown over the course of this conflict. How many more people came to them and said, yeah, you're right, they're motherfuckers. Look what they're doing. They're killing all of our children. I'm telling you, you cannot wipe out a fucking movement, man, unless that movement has identifiable hierarchy that once eliminated means the structure's gone.
But okay. So therefore, the solution, if you wanted to eliminate that movement, you would just be just like, whatever, fuck it, nothing to do.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
Well, what would you?
I'm not saying that at all.
But you're saying
you're constantly imagining these positions I have when all I'm doing is stating factual information.
Well,
it doesn't mean that I believe one thing or another.
No,
it doesn't mean that
do
I have any better ideas.
But you're just saying
your questioning is somewhat accusatory. But go on.
You're saying
if
you can't eliminate this by killing the leaders, then you got to figure out another way to do it. Boy, that's
you got to figure out another way to do it.
And while you're receiving their missiles, you're gonna just be like, okay, let's sit here and think about how we should
Israel's not getting
undermine their mental state.
Israel's not getting many more missiles, bro. Just a little bit of a skirmish here and there. Those missiles are all going one way now.
Are they?
I mean,
okay.
There's missiles here and there and everywhere, of course, but yeah, I mean, look.
But they have there are missiles to be had.
All this is to say in my opinions driven by not a whole lot of information, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
you
study
have more than
the
I
war,
do.
And I see plenty of images, and I listen to plenty of people, but I don't have. The only thing I would say is that Netanyahu is a right wing fucking nut.
I think he should.
It has been forever. He's not a Donald Trump right wing. He's more of a fucking, I don't know, Joe McCarthy right fucking wing, or Barry Goldwater to give him a little bit more, but just very right, very conservative. Doesn't want the judiciary to have the power to tell the executive branch what to do. What the fuck are you I thought you were a democracy. You want to be an autocrat? You remind me of somebody I know with flaming orange hair and a penchant for admitting the truth live on tape. Oh, so, back to the trial. Juxtaposition. Here is the tape of the guy at the appeals court hearing, the attorney for Trump, saying that the only way that you can arrest a president after he's out of office for something he did while he was president is if he's summarily impeached and convicted by the Senate. Then they stopped the footage and they showed Trump's attorney saying to the House, to the Senate, on the impeachment, that again and again, that this is not the place to do this. What you are alleging is a crime, and we have a both have a criminal court and a civil court system to deal with this once he's gone. There's no reason to do it now. if you're claiming a high crime and a misdemeanor, that is the place to deal with this, not here. And Senator McConnell, when he urged...
If this everyone in government is like, no, not at my desk. Go over there.
And McConnell urged on television, urged his fellow Republicans to understand that now is not the time to do it. That, in fact, Trump could be arrested, charged, and convicted and held accountable for his misdeeds once he's released. That man, Trump, with one attorney and the other attorney up against each other, and one of the appeals court judge described that in detail and said, hold on just a second. Your client had a legal position and explained it better than I have by far, but explained it and said, how do you explain the inconsistency? And she said, no. How do you explain the incongruency? Blah, blah, blah. No. And then after that, they say, the judges basically say, I've asked you enough. I'm going to make my own inferences from what I've heard. I've heard enough on this. Let's go to the next question. And they're sitting there thinking, are you fucking kidding me? You are so wrong. There is no such thing as absolute immunity. He's not a fucking king. That's why we wrote the fucking Constitution.
I love this.
You stupid fuck.
I love the idea of, but if the president requests the assassination of his rival, that's cool because he's president.
Do you know what Nixon said?
It's just like what whoa. That's like dictatorship 101.
Sure. Nixon said when the inquiry was going on, to which he ended up realizing that he was guilty of a crime, he needed to resign and he needed to be pardoned. A pardon is a absolute admission of guilt of a crime.
Yes.
He said early on, well, wait, I can't, I didn't break the law, I can't break the law. And the questioner said, why can't you break the law? He said, because I'm doing it. It's not breaking the law. The president can't break the law. It doesn't exist. He learned differently. Trump's just saying the same thing.
Dick.
He's going to learn what Nixon learned. The court, and you know what the Supreme Court's going to do? They're going to say, we don't need to look at this. We're good with the final under court ruling.
But like the majority of government in history has had a king that was above the law.
Sure, that's why we created the United States of America.
That's exactly why the founding fathers were like, nah, man.
Trump's clear that he wants to, by virtue of ignoring, he wants to rewrite the Constitution. And he wants to write it like the autocrat in Hungary, I believe it is, that through executive action, ever-growing powers under executive action, he has redefined his country away from democracy toward autocracy. And Trump is real clear. He says that's what he wants to do. He says he'll be a dictator for maybe just the first couple of days.
Yeah, first couple of days.
Edict after edict after
because then it would wear off, and he'd be like, nah.
He knows that his fucking mini-me, Stephen Miller, and his legions from the conservative right-wing patriots in this country, he knows that by the time they win the election, they will have at least 1,000 executive orders ready to be signed. They will know how many orders they can have signed in the first day. by determining how long it takes Trump to do. How many pieces of paper can you sign in a day? Whatever number that is, that's how many we will have ready for you the first day and the second day. Or I believe that they have had a... No, not a stamp. It's actually it's a device, quite an invention, where you use a pen that's connected to other pens.
It was invented by Thomas Jefferson, or not invented by, but he has one in his.
Yes.
Well, that's fucking dark to end on. Yeah. So, what? Again, I stand by my prediction that Trump will win, and
I stand by my prediction that neither Trump nor Biden will be the nominees.
He will win. He will be. He will be ready to be brought into jail when the results come back and he's released out of jail. Like, he will be in handcuffs and then brought out to do the anyway.
He won't be brought out. He won't necessarily brought out. That'd be there could be a escape risk.
No.
They'd shoot him behind bars.
Wouldn't that be funny if for the inauguration, like, the president walks out like with handcuffs, and then they're like they uncheck him, they unhook him, to put his hand in the Bible.
They got to put the Bible behind him. He put the Bible in front of him, and he looks at it, and they say, "Oh," and then they take the Bible and they put it down by his ass.
No.
In fact, they put it right even with his asshole. So while he's given the oath, he can shit on the Bible, which is really what he wants to do. What he's already done.
Wow.
We're out of here. This has been an upsetting episode.
What an upsetting start to 2024. 2000.
We're in for some shit.
202, baby.
We are in for some shit. Hey, babe.
I love you.
Do I leave this on? I guess I do
please.
now. Okay.
Wow. Episode 202 is in the books. Show notes at happyhour.fm/202. You can help support us at patreon.com/happyhour. That would be lovely. It would be great to actually get some support there. Please, please, please. And have a great new year. See you next week.